We are here welcoming Melissa Arrighi, the town manager of the town of Plymouth, for Town Talk. Welcome, Melissa. Let's get right into it. There's an awful lot to talk about today. Can you just start right now with, as of today's date, the 2nd of April, we are in the red again for COVID numbers. Anything you want to talk about on that subject?
So frustrating. I know the Board of Health and the chairman has tried to do a tremendous amount of work, and there's been pushback from people that are definitely upset that Plymouth is being more stringent than the state requires. Now, in saying that, I got a great, sad email from a bride today that is so upset that the numbers and what Plymouth is allowing is reduced from what the state allows, and I totally empathize with that. However, there is a major concern here in Plymouth and the fact that our numbers are increasing. There is a push. We're working with the state right now to see if the Water Street site, where we're doing testing currently for early educators and educators in general, can be expanded to all of Plymouth. We're still waiting to hear back from the Commonwealth on that. We also reserved some spots through the Kingston Med Spa, who has been working with us and holding spots for us each week for vaccination testing. So we've offered that to the school employees starting this Monday. But in terms of just getting people to be more careful and cautious and understand that this is over, we don't know how much further. I don't know how to get that message out more and more and impress that on the public. We do have the COVID ambassadors back in place in the downtown area, and they will be going around. And if we have to call in the ABCC, the Liquor Licensing Authority, or anybody else, we will do that. But we're just really asking for the public and the visitors' help in keeping and bringing our numbers back down.
Yeah. There's also some confusion, I think, that people who have been vaccinated are tending to have different behaviors than people that are not. Do you want to speak to that at all? Because I don't think we really know yet. There's not enough health guidance on once you've been vaccinated, does that mean you don't wear a mask anymore? And I don't think that's true. Have you heard any pushback on that?
So I have definitely heard that those that have been vaccinated might have a little bit more of a carefree attitude on how to protect other people. I have to tell you, I have not witnessed that at all. I think the people that have been vaccinated, particularly the elderly, the DPW groups, the people that have already been able to go, are still being extremely careful because they know they need to protect other people, the people that they are around. And of course, they still have some susceptibility as diminished as that is with the vaccination. So I have not seen that. I certainly know that there has been talk about that. I'm going to continue to try and educate, as well as I know that the weekly show will try and educate the public that everybody needs to remain vigilant in terms of being careful.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Now, we have the town meeting tomorrow, Saturday, on the 3rd of April, here for the town of Plymouth, and it will be a virtual town meeting again. A lot of things on the docket. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I always look forward to town meeting, as different as it is virtually. Certainly, we are all looking forward to participating. And I can tell you this, I have been out on a little bit of a medical leave over the past week, but trying to monitor my emails when I can. And I have seen just an abundance of questions coming in from town meeting members. So thank you to all those town meeting representatives. They are absolutely doing their homework. They are thoroughly studying the report and recommendations that came out from the Finance Committee. They are researching every article. Thank you to the staff at Town Hall who are answering questions as frequently and as quickly as they can. I haven't seen anything left outstanding. So on Saturday, we certainly are looking forward to a healthy debate about the $260 million school and town budget. We have some capital items and projects that are receiving attention. I think that we'll have a good discussion about that. And as always, we look forward to the outcome of town meeting and then getting ready for the next fiscal year.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a lively discussion as always. And you're right. I agree with you. The town meeting members really, they do their homework, and there's so much available to the town residents in terms of what you put out there for people to understand what each article means. And there's videos that are backing it up, and there's a lot of information that a lot of towns don't have that Plymouth seems to do a really good job at. So The warrant is on the town website, so obviously people should go there if they have questions before town meeting tomorrow. Now, let's talk a little bit about the excitement of getting ready for outdoor dining here in Plymouth.
They have been working this week like crazy, thanks to our public works crews and our fire department, as well as many of the people from our office and the Chamber of Commerce who have been on site. I will hopefully have some pictures that you will be able to show now. There are barriers are all in place. They are filled, so they are safe. Signage should go up right now as as you and I are filming this. Signage should be going up in the downtown area. We have the licenses in place for the restaurants that have done the expansion. So thank you to Lisa Johnson in our office for moving that forward, and for the select board who are willing to meet as often as they need to make this happen. Now, this was our priority location in town because there was a lot of signage and hands-on work that needs to be done for this outside dining. But I'm willing to bet you by the time this show airs, there'll be people that will already be outside enjoying that. So we're looking forward to that this summer. We hope it's a success. We changed things up from last year. It is still the two-way traffic. We really want to look at this positively to make sure that it works for everybody. And as summer moves, as we get closer to summer and the summer season starts, if we have to meet with people and make minor adjustments, we can't be moving barriers, but if we have to do some minor adjustments, we'll be able to do that.
Excellent. I wanted to ask you about your town manager's report, which I find just so incredibly helpful. You seem to include almost everything that must pass your desk, or a lot of things that pass over your desk in the course of a week. Can you talk about the response you've gotten from your town manager's reports that you actually publish that gives so much information?
I didn't always used to do such a thorough town manager's report. It really has been a product of reacting to social media, private social media sites that put out so much information without actually checking to see, to check its accuracy, or if there are questions out there, and different employees or staff members and even elected officials would bring that to me. So I started to say, you know what, I will put as much as I can in these town managers reports. I'm getting some great reception. As a matter of fact, with me being a little down and out right now on medical leave, I've been receiving emails from residents wondering when they'll receive the next town manager's report. So although I'm not doing one this week, I will continue to include as much information as I can in those. One of the things that I think, at least I find helpful, is the Q&A section. So many residents have the same concern as their neighbor or as somebody in another part of the community, and they don't know that. But in the question and answer section, I start to see that there really is a repeat from week to week or month to month on the questions that people have, whether it's about their budget, whether it's about how to get a stop sign in their neighborhood, or how to reduce speed limits. So one of the things that I may do, it's on a long-term goal list, is see if there's a way to better search the town manager's reports so that those questions can all be grouped together on the same subject matter. So I think that is something that the public may find helpful, but it's nice to hear you say that, because I do feel like it takes some time to do those reports, but I think it's worth it because I think it's a great reflection historically of what is happening in the management of the town in all facets of the community.
Totally agreed. And what I find just fascinating is how much has to be done through every single department. I mean, they have a world within of their own, and then you kind of have to oversee all of those departments. So, and the Q&As are great because there's questions that I read through them and I'm like, oh yeah, I bet a lot of people had a question like that or on that subject, and your answer tends to probably keep an awful lot of people from having to ask another question on the same subject. So I agree with you. They're just wonderful, and I really thank you and appreciate that. So we're the beginning of April. The numbers are not perfect right now, but we're looking for the numbers for COVID to be coming down. The vaccinations are going up. And one final question, which I know you're still working on, is the Vaccination Site in Plymouth. That has not come to be yet. Can you just talk about that as our final subject? A big statewide site.
Yeah, so we have explored options to have a vaccination site in Plymouth. And I've addressed this in my report repeatedly, because certainly there is criticism out there from people that say, how can we be such a large community and not have one? In the very earliest stages, back last spring, we had offered up potentially Memorial Hall as a location for a vaccination site. We then recently have expanded and met with different communities and town managers to see if we could partner on the Kingston Mall as a site for vaccination. But the state, and I think to some degree in their wisdom, has said, we have these approved super sites already. There's only so much vaccination coming into Massachusetts. These are the areas that it's going. If cities and towns can help with transportation to those sites, or helping to secure appointments or help people make appointments, that is a role. But I don't see any movement, at least at this stage, in them approving any additional sites. Now, in saying that, Jules, if they are going to, then Plymouth has been very vocal about the fact that we would love to not only be included, but to either host a site or be a main contributor financially, if need be, to obtaining a site that is closer for our residents to go to. The Marshfield site is convenient for some and not for others. So Plymouth continues to be available to our Commonwealth, but to support them in the efforts that they're doing right now. So even most recently, every week I'm in communication with one of the vaccination sites. They let us know how many appointments would be available to Plymouth. We have secured them 2 weeks ago for our public works employees that wanted to be vaccinated. We are doing it currently, working with the superintendent of schools for teachers and our employees in the school department. We have previously done it through our senior centers with our seniors. So we are indeed getting our Plymouth people vaccinated, just in smaller groups, I guess I could say, smaller groupings, and not one large capacity that I know the residents are interested in.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Melissa. And we will look forward to seeing you tomorrow for town meeting, and again next month for Town Talk. And people should join you every week for your own show called Truth Be Told, where you cover the items of the week. And I know this week you missed it because of your medical situation, and we missed you, but we look forward to that coming back. So Melissa Arrighi, Town Manager for Plymouth, thank you so much for joining us today.